Have you ever found yourself smiling at someone, while deep down something just felt off? It wasn't a loud voice, not even a clear thought, just a feeling, a weird energy in the air, a subtle discomfort you couldn't explain. Maybe it was a strange comment, a compliment that felt flat, or that awkward silence in a conversation that technically had nothing wrong with it. You tried to brush it off, thought maybe you were being too sensitive, but then it kept happening. And each time this person showed up, it felt like your light dimmed just a little more. Today, we're going to talk about that, about people who hide intentions behind a smile, about relationships that seem normal but drain your energy, about something Carl Jung once called the shadow, and more importantly, how to recognize the signs before it starts to wear you down. You're not crazy. You're not being dramatic, and you're definitely not paranoid. You're about to understand something that many people go through, but almost no one knows how to name. I'm going to show you 8 subtle but revealing signs that someone close to you might not actually like you as much as they seem to. And trust me, the 8th sign could completely change the way you see certain people, maybe even someone you trust today. But hey, this video isn't here to scare you. It's here to give you clarity, to make you feel lighter, and most of all, more free. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. YouTube only shows you these videos if you do. And if you want, send this to someone who needs to learn how to protect their energy too. Let's do this, because what you're about to learn might just change your relationships forever. There's something deeply unsettling about realizing someone might be working against you, silently. And we're not talking about obvious enemies here. We're talking about the people close to you. A friend, a family member, a partner, a coworker, someone who's supposed to have your back. But behind the smiles, they slowly drain your energy, chip away at your confidence, or sabotage your path. Why does this happen? Carl Jung called it shadow projection. He believed that we all carry hidden parts of ourselves, feelings we reject, like jealousy, anger, fear of failure, insecurity. Because they're around someone who doesn't attack directly, but quietly erodes their spirit. Maybe that's happening to you right now. And you've been trying to justify it, to keep the peace, to not make a big deal out of things. But what if the peace you're trying to keep is costing you your emotional health? Today, I'm going to walk you through each of these signs with clarity. This isn't about pushing people away. It's about seeing what's really going on beneath the surface, about learning to tell what's yours and what's theirs. Because once you see these dynamics clearly, something powerful happens. You stop blaming yourself, and you start setting healthy boundaries without fear, without guilt, and with complete clarity. Let me ask you something. Have you ever had to walk away from someone who seemed good for you, but deep down made you feel worse and worse? Tell us in the comments. Your story might help someone else recognize they're not alone. Now let's dive into the 8 signs that reveal when someone who looks like an ally might actually be the opposite. Sign 1, the compliment that stings. Have you ever received a compliment that somehow made you feel worse? Congrats, you finally did it. Took you long enough, right? Wow, that turned out well. I didn't think you could pull it off. It sounds like a joke, but deep down, it hits. This is one of the first signs of hidden hostility, the compliment with a sting. People who feel jealous or threatened by your growth but can't express it openly often use sarcasm. They say nice things while subtly putting you down. They support you with a question mark at the end. It's subtle, but you feel it. Think about that one friend who smiles when you share good news, but something in their smile feels tight, or their laugh carries tension. Pay attention. The body says what the mouth tries to hide. And the solution isn't to confront them right away. It's to spot the pattern. Once may be a slip, twice a coincidence. But if it keeps happening, trust your instincts. Sign 2, the advice that holds you back. You share a dream, a plan, a next step. And the response? Are you sure this is the right time? Don't you think you're rushing into this? I'm only saying this because I care. But it always starts with concern and ends with a limit. This is one of the most common and most subtle forms of sabotage, because it shows up disguised as love. But here's how you tell the difference. Real care helps you grow. It might be cautious, but it still encourages. Control, on the other hand, tries to keep you small. Carl Jung said the need to control others often comes from an inability to face one's own inner chaos. People who feel lost or inadequate tend to project that fear onto others. They try to clip your wings because they haven't dared to face their own. Have you someone who always knows better, but never truly helps you move forward? Drop a comment below if that hits home. Sign 3, the presence that drains you. You meet up with this person. It starts off okay. You chat, laugh, share ideas. But when they leave, something feels off. You feel tired, smaller, disconnected from yourself. That's the effect of a draining presence. These people don't attack you directly, but over time, they wear you down. There's always a subtle dig, a little comparison, a remark that seeds doubt, and your energy slowly fades. The body always knows first. If you find yourself avoiding someone but can't explain why, or if you replay conversations wondering why they left you so shaken, it's time to wake up. The solution? It begins with one thing: validating what you feel. You don't need a logical explanation to step away from someone who's hurting you. Feeling it is enough. If something weighs on you, slows you down, or drains your space, you're allowed to walk away. Sign 4, the support that's never there when you need it. You're going through something hard, or something amazing, and this person disappears. No message, no call, or worse, they show up with cold, lifeless energy that tills your joy. This is the 4th sign: selective absence. People who carry hidden resentment or jealousy tend to vanish at key moments, when you're vulnerable, or when you're shining too bright. They can't handle your pain. And they can't handle your glow. It hurts to notice this, but it's also freeing, because once you understand this pattern, you stop chasing it. You stop begging for warmth from someone who only gives you ice. You stop waiting for presence from someone who's mastered the art of absence. And most importantly, you start investing your energy in those who truly show up for you. These are the first 4 signs. Each one exposes a different part of the shadow that often hides in plain sight. And here's the strange part: most of the time, these people don't even realize they're doing it. That's why we look with compassion, but also with boundaries. How about you? Have you ever spotted any of these signs in someone close to you? Let us know in the comments. Let's grow stronger together with clarity and emotional protection. Ready for the next part? Sign 5. Control disguised as "I'm just worried about you." This one is tricky because it often comes from people you love or who say they love you. It starts with good intentions, or at least that's how it's framed. They give advice, they ask questions, they challenge your decisions. And little by little, they start to insert themselves into every area of your life. What you should wear, who you should talk to, which job is right, who you should date, how you should think. At first, it feels like they care, but over time, it doesn't feel like care. It feels like pressure. That's the 5th sign: control dressed as concern. They say, "I just want what's best for you. I know you. You always get this wrong. You're being emotional. Let me think for you." But what they really mean is, "I don't trust you to lead your own life." Carl Jung once said that people who can't handle her own inner chaos tend to try and control the world outside them. And that includes people, relationships, you. They might not even know they're doing it. But every time you share something, they plant doubt. And when you follow your instincts, They punish you with coldness, silence, or guilt. Here's a powerful way to tell. Do you feel more confident after talking to them, or more confused? If their care consistently leaves you feeling small, weak, or dependent, that's not support. That's manipulation. Sign 6, gossip that shadows your name. Let's say you start noticing a shift. People around you act different, a little colder, less open. You wonder what changed, but no one says anything. Then it hits you. Someone's been talking. This is the 6th sign, indirect hostility through gossip. People who harbor resentment rarely confront directly. They operate in whispers. They twist facts. They hint at things without proof. And suddenly, your image starts to change in other people's minds. You don't even know it's happening until the consequences show up. Rumors, doubts, isolation. This is not just about being mean. It's about control through reputation. If someone feels powerless to compete with you openly, they'll do it through the shadows. They'll shape how others see you, not with lies, but with subtle distortions. A raised eyebrow, a sentence left unfinished, a tone of voice that suggests more than it says. Carl Jung described this behavior as a projection of inner inadequacy. When people feel unworthy or small, they tear others down to balance the scales. And gossip is one of their S. If you suspect this is happening, trust your gut and start noticing the patterns. Who pulls away without reason? Who avoids eye contact after talking to that person? Who suddenly acts off with you? Sometimes it's not about what was said, it's about what they made others feel about you. Sig 7, the smile that never reaches their eyes. Have you ever shared good news with someone and felt them freeze? They nod. They say, "That's great," but their body says something else. Their smile is tight. Their eyes avoid yours. Their tone drops. This is the 7th sign, a lack of joy in your joy. True friends light up when you win. They celebrate. They shine with you. But those who carry hidden envy or resentment struggle to hide their discomfort. Sometimes they switch topics quickly. Sometimes they downplay your win. Tool, but did you hear what I did last week? Or worse, well, anyone could have done that. They're not just being dismissive, they're feeling. Because your victory reminds them of what they haven't done. Your happiness shines a light on their unresolved pain. And instead of being inspired by your growth, they feel exposed by it. This one hurts because it's subtle, and you want to believe they're happy for you. But again, trust your nervous system. If you shrink after sharing something good, something's off. Joy should be amplified, not diluted. And no one who truly loves you will make you feel guilty for glowing. Sign 8, the energy that betrays the mask. This is the most subtle sign of all, and the most powerful. It's not in what they say. It's in what their body does when they're not speaking. A glance that skips away, a sudden shift in posture, a laugh that doesn't match the moment, a compliment that lands flat, a hug that feels hollow. This is the 8th sign, nonverbal signals that reveal the truth. The human body has over 40 muscles just in the face, and many of them we can't fully control. That's why microexpressions exist. That's why intuition picks up what logic misses. You might think you're imagining things, but Jung believed the unconscious never lies. And while someone may choose their words carefully, their body always speaks the truth. That discomfort you feel when they touch your shoulder, that weird tension when you enter a room, the sudden silence after you share a win, the shift in tone when someone else praises you, those are not accidents. They are data. You don't need a psychology degree to pick it up. You just need to trust the system you were born with. Your body knows when it's being loved and when it's being tolerated. These final signs are harder to spot, but they're also the ones that bring the most clarity. Because once you learn to read the unspoken, you stop needing explanations. You stop second-guessing yourself. You stop wondering if you're being too sensitive, and you start living with a kind of clarity that brings peace. And here's the twist. You don't need to confront. You don't need to prove anything. All you need to do is notice. Notice who lifts you, who sees you, who celebrates you without needing to compete, and who makes you feel like you have to shrink to keep the peace. Because here's the truth no one tells you. You don't have to stay where your light isn't welcome, ever. If you felt seen in any part of this video, you're not alone. Many people live years semi-conscious of these dynamics, blaming themselves, adjusting constantly, feeling exhausted without knowing why. But not anymore. Not after today. Stick around, because up next, we're going to open another door that most people never even realize exists. And now comes the most important part of all. Recognizing these signs is just the beginning, because the next step, and the most freeing one, is this. What do you do with that awareness? How do you set boundaries without creating conflict? How do you protect your energy without closing your heart? How do you stay kind and open without being naive? These are the questions no one teaches us, but they define how we'll move through the relationships ahead. The truth is, many of us grew up learning to please, to avoid confrontation, to keep external peace, even when it costs our internal peace. Until one day, the weight becomes too much, and you realize you can't keep dimming your light just to fit into someone else's shadow. If this video brought you clarity, strength, or even a sense of relief in realizing you're not alone, stick around. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to catch our next videos. They might be exactly what you need to move forward with more awareness, protection, and lightness. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.